It is the sad day of the demise of the promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, alayhi salam. At this moment, a son of his stands by his bed and vows, "Even if all the people leave you, and I am left alone, I will stand by you, and will face all opposition and onslaughts against your mission." An emotional claim made in a moment of grief by a pained son. Indeed, history bears testimony to the sincerity of his pledge. A man of God, an ocean of divine and secular knowledge, the articulate voice of the age, without doubt, a great genius of the 20th century, an epitome of the qualities of leadership. These are just some of the traits of Hazrat Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmad Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu, the promised son of the promised Messiah and Mahdi, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam.
ए फज़ले उमर तेरे औसाफ़े करीमाना, ए फज़ले उमर तेरे औसाफ़े करीमाना, याद के बनाते हैं हर रूह को दीवाना.
He was the promised reformer whose advent was prophesied by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the promised Messiah, on whom be peace, and who became the second Khalifa at the young age of 25 and nourished the community to its maturity for more than 50 years with his spiritual guidance, prayers, tears, toil and blood. His life fulfilled every aspect of the grand prophecy of the promised Messiah set out in an announcement in 1886. Under divine guidance, he fortified the foundations of the community laid down by the promised Messiah, on whom be peace, and expanded the structure of the movement by initiating various schemes, organizations, and programs. In order to stimulate the moral and spiritual qualities of the community and carry its message far and wide, Hazrat Khalifatul Mesih II established the Tehreek-e-Jadid scheme in 1934. Everything in the movement was charged with new life and new spirit under the impact of this scheme. The most striking activity of this scheme was the network of foreign missions that progressively spread into many countries. And due to the blessings of this scheme, there are now flourishing branches of the movement in more than 200 countries. Hazrat Muslim Maud was an instrument of establishing the superiority and status of the Word of God, the Holy Quran, in all corners of the world. During his adolescence, an angel taught him the commentary of Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter of the Holy Quran, and in this manner he was gifted with a deep spiritual knowledge and understanding of the commentary of the Holy Quran by Allah the Exalted. His conversation, speeches, and all his writings were a commentary of the Holy Quran. Perhaps his greatest work is Tafsir-e-Kabir, his wondrous 10,000-page commentary of the Holy Quran. Any individual who has read a part of it with concentration cannot but acknowledge that if there was a holy person in the world who had only published part of such a commentary of the Holy Quran, it would have been sufficient for him to be acknowledged as a holy person from among the holiest persons in the world. It was not enough for Hazrat Muslim Maud just to write the commentary and distribute it. Hazur wished to propagate the word of God all over the world. He called the youth of the Jamaat to dedicate themselves for religious training in the community's missionary training college, Jamia Ahmadiyya. He called on parents to dedicate their children for the service of Islam. He prepared such godly scholars that demonstrated the Quran to be a life-giving message and carried its message to the corners of the earth. It is a direct result of these sacrifices and attention that services are being rendered to the Holy Quran in every corner of the world. One illustrious aspect from the splendid life of Hazrat Muslim Maud that shone far brighter than any others was his overriding passion and desire to help Muslims and the cause of Islam. It would not be an exaggeration to say that all his projects, plans, schemes, and tireless activities were solely for the benefit of Islam. Hazur urged all Ahmadis to pray fervently for the Muslims who were surrounded by danger from all sides. He delivered numerous lectures during the partition of India and Pakistan and was always at the forefront of championing the cause of the Muslims. Hazur was deeply touched by the plight of the Muslims in Kashmir, whose rights were being suppressed by the tyrannical Hindu government. He was elected head of All India Kashmir Committee, which was formed by leading Muslims of the Punjab. Many leaders would seek political advice from Hazur, and they acknowledged that Hazrat Khalifatul Mesih II, may Allah be pleased with him, came to the rescue of the Kashmir Muslims when help was needed direly. Although because of his direct links with India and Pakistan, the attention of Hazrat Muslim Maud was constantly drawn to resolving their issues, but he did not limit himself to this area. He felt all Muslims had to be unified no matter which part of the world they hailed from, or to whichever color, race, or school of thought they belonged. He spoke in fervent tones about the holy places of Islam in the Middle East when they were in grave danger during the Second World War. He emphatically reminded the Arab Muslims of their duties to protect the sacred lands of Islam and called on them to unite for this purpose. He gave many addresses where he stressed that the Palestine issue concerned all Muslims and urged the Muslims to unite in their sacrifices and prayers. In short, he gave such advice to the Muslims that if they were to follow it, much of their sufferings would be alleviated. On the 8th of November 1965, the movement was shook to its foundations by the demise of Hazrat Khalifatul Mesih II, may Allah be pleased with him. Every member of the community was overwhelmed with grief. The outstanding qualities of Hazrat Khalifatul Mesih II and his astonishing record of high achievement in so many fields of human endeavor all related to the revival of the faith and the supremacy of Islam over all other religions. This marked him out as a great and shining figure in the annals of the Renaissance of Islam in the latter days.
ऐ फज़ले उमर तेरे औसाफ़े करीमाना याद आके बनाते हैं हर रूह को दीवाना फज़ले